The Shepparton Art Museum, or SAM as the locals refer to it, was just a real treat. We initially walked into the foyer, such a warm welcome, and then straight away you're just into these big beautiful rooms, chockers full of amazing art. This afternoon we're spending a bit of time in SAM, which is the Shepparton Art Museum, and I'm joined by the director, Rebecca. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Now, what can you tell us about the exhibit that we're currently sitting in?
Well, you're sitting in an exhibition called A Finer Grain. It's a recent rehang of the permanent collection. There are 116 works, many of which have not been seen for many, many years by leading and lesser known women artists. And just so they don't feel left out, we've got 2 male artists as well.
We have to include them, I suppose.
We do.
In the corner of one of the exhibits, there's something a little unusual. And I have to admit, when I first walked into the room, it really caught me off guard. And that was a silicone statue of an old woman holding a really, really tiny little baby. And it was so lifelike. I got a bit closer and I mean, you could just see that that artist had painstakingly worked on the veins and the wrinkles around the eyes and the hands, and you really had to see it to believe it. Now, you mentioned that it is actually Sam's collection.
Yes.
So the property of the museum here, and you've got sort of so many works that you've actually outgrown this space. So there's a new project in the works.
We are building a new art museum. It is probably the most exciting, most ambitious project in the museum's 80-year history. I think we're just out of the ground now, so the pylons have started. We hope that it will be on schedule and working towards an opening of sort of November 2020.
Fantastic. Now, you mentioned the sort of community engagement.
Yeah.
Some of the things that you do here with the touring artists especially is workshops.
That's right. So one of the things we do is really have things that are artist-led and artist-driven. So we invite students to either come in, or we do develop projects with schools and students or groups of the community, and they're artist-led.
Well, there's plenty of amazing art inside, but I've been told there's also some art outside.
There is. So around Shepparton we've got a series of street art murals that have been happening over the last year or so, and they're celebrating a number of our leading Indigenous elders. And so as you walk around Shepparton you get a sense of this place and the largest Indigenous community outside of Melbourne.
I think we should go and check it out.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Pleasure.